Hello, everyone. This is Darsonovia here. I am back with another War on Nerds. Originally, this was going to be done last week, but due to, stuff I had to do, I had to delay it. And, oh boy, this book. This book, oh my god. I don't even know where to begin with this. I don't even know what to call this fucking thing because I don't even know if I would call it a book. To me, oh god. This book, I cannot believe, the author expected people to pay $20 for a fucking Kindle of this book when you could get everything that's in this book for free. Thankfully, the audiobook exists where I can actually get a refund for this piece of shit. And I'm going to get a refund. And oh my god. This book reads like a racist manifesto. Now, I cannot show you the book or show you the audiobook because I'm not going to get this stream taken down for copyright. But let's just say Midnight's Edge, the guy who reads the audiobook, doesn't make it sound any better, honestly. Now, what is Fandom Menace Volume 1 of Fandom Betrayed? Well, but guys, you remember the People versus George Lucas? How a bunch of Gen Xers, were crying like crybabies because George Lucas did things they didn't like. Oh my god, the prequels! George Lucas did this with the prequels. Oh my god, the special editions. Yeah, think of it as that. That's all it was. That's exactly what it was. That's exactly what this book is. It's just the People versus George Lucas in book form, except instead of raging against George Lucas, they're raging against Kathleen Kennedy. But here's the thing that's ironic. This book doesn't even talk about Star Wars. It just talks about things like Gamergate, Comicsgate. Any point that was valid in this book is completely overshadowed by a bunch of nonsense. Racism against the whites. This book literally does read like, a racist manifesto. And oh my god, I cannot count how many times SJW was urtured in this book. What book? Oh, you sure you want to know about this book's existence? Oh, I'll show you right now what this book is. It is awful. I will show you right now. Just give me a bit. I'm just gonna go on Amazon and I'll show you the book. Because the book is some of the worst shit I've ever had the pleasure of freaking seeing. Listening to. It was awful. I'm glad I actually did not. I can exchange it for something else. I will exchange it for something else. Because I don't understand how anyone can actually write something like this. Like, oh my god, this was great. No, it was terrible. It's one of the worst books I've ever fucking listened to in my life. It's not even good as a guilty pleasure. It's so bad that it's freaking terrible. My god. My god. All right. It's really bad. Seriously. Seriously, it's really bad. This stream. It is really, really bad. Okay, I will show you what the book looks like. I will show you what this book is. I will show you just how bad this book is and how terrible the book is, because it is really, really, really bad. Honestly. Here is Fandom Menace Volume 1. I will show this to you so you know beyond a reasonable doubt that this is what this book is. You see? This is the book I'm showing you. This is the book. Pretty terrible, isn't it? Pretty terrible. pretty fucking terrible. This is what this book is. Fandom Menace Volume 1. Yes. And I wouldn't even call this a book. I really wouldn't call this a book. Like, okay. Let's look at the reviews, shall we? It's a 3 stars. And oh god, yes. I wouldn't be surprised if these people are fandom menacers. Yeah, of course there's my review, which I do have one on Amazon. Majority of the people that basically reviewed it, basic are just fandom menacers that don't know anything. Fandom Menace Volume 1. And by the way, this is going to be a 5-volume series. This isn't going to be like, oh my, this isn't going to be like a one-off thing. This is going to be a 5-volume series. How can you freaking talk about this shit for 5 volumes? It's like, oh my god, this is like amazing. Some of these people said. I don't think any sane person thinks this. Honestly. Okay, it is an awful book objectively. It is awful. It doesn't read like anything but a racist manifesto. All you hear is SJW this, SJW that. SJW this, SJW that. That's essentially what it is. And Stephen Walton didn't even really write this book at all. He could be argued he was a ghost author at best. And I'm just being generous. And if I'm sound like I'm insulting some him, well, tough shit. I mean, my God, these people are such snowflakes. Like, they supported The Force Awakens blindly. And it wasn't until, like, The Last Jedi was suddenly yet a consumerist rebellion. There were, but they sold out. The only way you can read this book is to get the Kindle. And the Kindle's $20 fucking dollars. $20 for the Kindle. $20. $20 for the Kindle. $20. $20 for the Kindle. And this person expects, his freaking fans to actually pay $20 of their hard-earned money on garbage that they can get for free. Now, let's be honest here. The fandom menace have never been logically consistent. They've never been rational. They can never consider the fact, oh, maybe this stuff is bad because, I don't know, we live in modern day capitalism where all art has basically been turned to shit because freaking we live in a hyper consumerist society. Nope. It's just SJWs and bunch of whatever boogeyman they came up with in their head. This book has a lot of racist dog whistles and a lot of anti-Semitic ones, I would argue, as well. And a lot of sexist dog whistles. I mean, oh it's like, my goodness. This book wouldn't be able to be published unless it was self-published. Now, I'm not going to shit on people who publish books themselves because there's plenty of people that publish their books and do self-publishing. But this book, I think it's insulting to the people who support this guy to pay $20 for something they can get for free. And I think anybody that spends $20 on a bunch of fanboyish nonsense, they deserve to be laughed at. They deserve to be mocked. And I mean, yes, I would agree with that. Now, my God, my Lord, it's so bad. It is. Oh, holy I mean, my God. Anyway, I'll be gone for a bit, guys. I'll be right back. I'll see you in a bit. So just talk in the comments section about this terrible book. All right, sorry guys. I was just getting something. I mean, I really do think it's ridiculous that people can take this guy seriously. I mean, seriously. This book is something you can get for free everywhere else. And I think it's ridiculous. They want you to pay for this nonsense. I mean, this book, I wouldn't recommend this even as a guilty pleasure. Not even as a guilty pleasure, I'd recommend this book. It's poorly written. Nothing is really backed with facts. It's all just SJW's this, SJW's that. It's just entitlement. That's all this book is. It's just entitlement, the book. It's just a bunch of, crybaby SJWs that think they're entitled to treat, content creators like they're fucking their slaves. That's exactly how the fandom menace looks at, content creators. They don't look at them as actual human beings. They look at them as slaves. They have no respect for them. They really don't. And this book, at the end of the day, I'm just being real. At the end of the day, with this book in particular, what is about this book? Why does this book need to exist? Because this book doesn't give a reason to justify its existence. I mean, one volume to me just doesn't tell me, you know what? I'm looking forward to reading the rest. Well, I'm looking forward to see how much worse this can get, because I don't know what you can do, with this. I mean, there's only so much you can fucking do, like, before it just gets repetitive. And that's what this is, this anti-Disney Star Wars nonsense. I mean, I'm tired of these LARPers, and that's exactly what the fandom menace are. This book is just written by a LARPer who's just LARPing on the next fucking big thing. And we're completely okay with, Disney Star Wars going as it was until The Last Jedi completely did everything that they, did not want them to do. Oh my God, the Last Jedi, I didn't get what I wanted with Luke. Oh my God, I didn't get what I wanted with Snoke. Oh my God, Rey is this. Oh my God, Rey is that. It's like, none of the criticisms these people had towards The Last Jedi were even legitimate. And I'm sorry, but the fandom menace is crying over the most minuscule shit is the reason why I cannot take them seriously. Yeah. It's just, I just don't understand the logic with this book. It's the nonsense that the customer is always right, which is nonsense. You don't have a right to harass content creators. You have no right to harass them to the point where they want to kill themselves. You don't have a right to harass them to the point where they are driven off social media. This book is victim playing and acting like the victim on every chance they can get. That's what the fandom menace is in a nutshell. They can never take responsibility for their actions, and they don't believe in the personal responsibility nonsense that they push. I mean, that's all the fandom menace is. Now, the last few streams I may have done on the War on Nerds has been fandom menace oriented, but the fandom menace live to their criteria as basically nerds. And it's because of people like Stephen Walton why legitimate criticisms towards The Last Jedi are always going to be overlooked by the sexist ones, by the racist ones. And the fact that this book paints the fandom menace as the victims, it's dishonest. It truly is dishonest. Yeah, well, I'm not going to do that. I refuse to have my channel get taken down because of it. But Midnight's Edge, his reading of it, holy shit, it sounds like a fucking manifesto. In fact, I'll send it to you right now. Actually, okay, I'm just gonna give you a taste of what it is because, well, I do not want this copyrighted, and under fair use, you can use a certain percentage of the book. So I'm just gonna just give you a glimpse of what it's like. Of course, I'm gonna speed it up so you guys' suffering isn't as much. Because I do not. All right, skip this. Okay, I'm just gonna give you the foreword by the guy who goes by Ruin the Man Baby Johnson. Oh shit! Hold on, just give me a second, guys. I'm just gonna give you the foreword, and you'll see what I'm talking about. It sounds like a manifesto.
Forward. I didn't really know much about the fandom menace when I first started tweeting via my Star Wars parody account, Ruin the Man Baby Johnson. It was early 2018, and after several viewings of The Last Jedi, I felt disillusioned. Was this really the right way to treat Luke Skywalker? Is there any kind of justice to a character who I and millions of others have seen as a true galactic hero for as long as I can remember? I was born in the same year as the first Star Wars film was released. Star Wars has been a part of my life ever since. I grew up playing with the toys and I bought the Legos. I played the games and I watched the prequels at the cinema. I couldn't have been more excited for the coming of new Star Wars material that we were promised with the announcement of The Force Awakens. Despite the first of Disney Star Wars offering's many flaws, I, as with countless others, was interested to see what direction Rian Johnson would take. Like many others, I was curious about these newly introduced characters and this newly revealed future. More importantly, the second sequel would finally provide some screen time with Luke Skywalker, my childhood hero. Oh, how I wish it hadn't. Luke, tossing his father's lightsaber over his shoulder 15 minutes into what should have been glory, was a walk out of the theater for many. The Leia Poppins scene, with its ridiculous death-defying force pulling or flying, was appalling to fans everywhere. We're still not sure which it was or what universe the writer/director pulled it from. Come to think of it, we're also at a loss to explain why everyone else on that deck wasn't sucked out the airlock when she opened the door. This is the subversion of those pesky expectations. What's that? You expected to spend your hard-earned money, waited decades for fresh offerings, and get some new Star Wars? No, that's just how you were fooled into your seats. You got label slapped. Surprise! The failure to develop any of the new characters was a very large source of contention for many in the consumer base. The introduction of some truly promising new characters, only to have them left terribly neglected as fans were faced with an appalling
This sounds like the readings of a
legendary and
man-child.
iconic characters and original cast members. This approach to such a powerful and long-term mythology was truly traumatic for the community at large. It created a schism among entire groups of fans. A variety of opinions from across the spectrum, ranging from disgust at Luke's space cow scene to outrage at Admiral Akbar's off-screen death. A large segment of the consumer and viewer community were upset and disappointed. A pointless slow-motion chase scene was masqueraded as an arcing plot to an epic. The film's progression serves to seemingly distract consumers and longtime supporters of the material and its related products. It was paraded as progress and innovation through $1 billion worth of high-risk ineptitudes. This was all revealed via a series of pointless scenes and go-nowhere plot threads. For example, a pitifully ironic CGI casino subplot was used to foolishly virtue signal sticking it to the man. It should have been brutally painful, albeit hilarious irony, for the largest monopoly of entertainment on the planet, trying to project this kind of hypocritical message on its own customers. Oh, the cringe. The wokeness knew no boundaries. Fans were given a raft of useless, contradictory, and meaningless characters. Snoke, Raylo, Ben Swallow, Chewbacca, Salt. Salt, finally, as if in a feigned mercy that viewers thought would end the horror, an avant-garde director twisted it directly into the heart of the fandom, with a finishing move that pushed many doubters firmly over the edge. The greatest hero the galaxy has ever known disappears into the sunset like a hot fart. Despite all of these and many other grievances many longtime fans and supporters of the Star Wars franchise expressed for The Last Jedi, some of the biggest insults to the fandom were still yet to come. In the weeks and months following the movie's release, like an organized assault on the old vanguard of fandom, the director of The Last Jedi, Rian Johnson, and many others associated or affiliated with Lucasfilm Studios, set about attacking anyone who had any kind of critical opinion of this perfect movie. Longtime diehard fans like myself were dismissed as man-babies by Johnson. Other consumers were even described as assholes by Rian Johnson. The franchise's legion of vocal supporters, encouraged by other personalities,
all right, sorry. You guys gotta listen to this.
Sexists, racists, misogynists, and worse. Anything other than adoration was contemptuously rejected. This made many more fans understandably angry. I, like many others, decided to exercise my frustrations using satire. Ruin, the man-baby Johnson, was born, and for a time, I remained anonymous as this parody. That was until Brian Young of StarWars.com decided to hunt me down over the internet to dox me. More on that story in a later volume. As I started to tweet, acting out my parody characterization of Rian Johnson, I became aware of how many other fans shared my disillusionment with The Last Jedi. Although in the beginning, as a group, we were dismissed as a small, toxic minority, and amazingly, Russian bots. Rotten Tomatoes recorded audience scores that suggested otherwise. This small and fringe group, a corner of fandom, couldn't be responsible for general audience opinions. General audiences seemed to agree. The Last Jedi was shite. The Last Jedi appeared on the movie review site weeks after the release, with only a 44% of consumers reporting they liked the movie. I soon realized that the Rian Johnson approach to socio-political filmmaking and the discourse related to it extended well beyond Star Wars. There seemed to be a massive overlapping of related interests and pursuits out there that were apparently in the throes of the same communal agonies. A large community of people everywhere that wanted answers and found companionship and inspiration from each other. I found that fans of many other genres who felt equally disillusioned with CBS Star Trek, Doctor Who, and Marvel had much in common with those who had become most recently disappointed with the handling and manipulation of viewers with shows like Game of Thrones. These were some of the biggest contemporary movie and TV franchises and were seemingly on the cutting edge of large entertainments, as one would expect. What was this diverse community's wide displeasure? Why were the creators behind so many different fandoms acting in such disrespectful and retaliatory ways? Why were they turning away the very consumers they somehow expected to support them? Why did it appear to be industry-wide? The fans who were being let down, discouraged, insulted, and told to move on from the things they loved were beginning to mobilize. That's the moment when I became aware of #the fandom menace. So what exactly is the fandom menace, might ask? At its most basic, it's a wordplay on the title of the first Star Wars prequel, The Phantom Menace. It represents a part of the greater community of fans who feel abandoned and attacked by the franchises they love. The Fandom Menace is a collective of supporters from numerous genres over a variety of platforms who follow and support many aspects and offerings of the wider entertainment industry. We are fans of science fiction and fantasy mediums and genres that, in some cases, span more than 3 generations. Members of the community are people of all ages, from every background and every region and country of the world. Here, there are people of all different tongues who all enjoy and understand the language of entertainment. Escapism. We speak to one another over the internet, a place where translating an opinion from some other
I
document
just suffered through this shit for
Here is
like
a
almost
community
3
unlike any that
hours.
has
That's
come
how
before.
horrible
The
this
Fandom Menace
is.
doesn't care what race, gender, sexual orientation, national origin, religion, political status, or financial background you are. All that matters is that you share a love for a chosen franchise, and hopefully a collection of them, and a sense of your place as part of an important and diverse community. For whatever reason, we love our particular niche within a kind of devotion to each other that anyone outside might not or could not fully understand. Everyone is welcome here. Once upon a time, we were scorned as geeks and nerds. Now, we're dismissed and insulted by the very people whose products we've supported through our undying passion, our longtime devotion, and our boundless loyalty. We stand betrayed, and we stand together. Most community members have a deep love and devotion for Star Trek, Star Wars, and Doctor Who. A few feel a hope for the future through mediums like Stargate or Babylon 5. Some don't give a damn about space operas and get their passion from gaming and such pursuits as Magic the Gathering or maybe even Pokemon. Others might prefer internet gaming with friends in social spaces such as Call of Duty, Battlefield, Mario Kart, or through the interactive storytelling of immersive worlds such as Final Fantasy or perhaps KOTOR. Many more fill their time by supporting their local comic shops by buying the installments to the latest tales of their favorite superheroes. There are still others reserving spots to play Dungeons and Dragons or any other of the amazing and in-depth role-playing games or experiences now available to consumers everywhere. The Fandom Menace could be said to be made up of more types of enthusiasts than any other community. Like any other large community of people, there are bad apples. That's the
bad apples is an
It's a family
understatement.
here, not a political group. We can and do forgive mistakes.
It
We
is
take
a
our community
political
very
group.
seriously. In all the interactions I've ever had, the people of the Fandom Menace have been nothing but supportive, understanding, and passionate, no matter who they are and no matter where they come from. The community, for the most part, tries to deal with insults through humor, sarcasm, satire, memery, or a whole combination of those things. The community is extremely talented and active, and the atmosphere most days can be described as jovial, positive, and playfully mischievous. I have had days on social media that the kinds of sharing and opinions of the community leave my ribs sore. We laugh an incredible amount here. We have various likes and dislikes and even more opinions between ourselves about what might be good and what is not. We tell each other so. We do not agree on anything or everything, and that's a very healthy and free place to be. We are a living and breathing marketplace of ideas. Diversity is everywhere, but there's always one thing we do all agree on. We, the Fandom Menace, will not stand for the overt politicization of our entertainment by fringe idealists. We will not stand idly by as franchises that we have loved, in some cases, for our entire lives, are used as propaganda for identity politics by virtue warriors and by people who care nothing for the properties that they now control. The Fandom Menace will not stand for the reemergence of this bigotry being used against us.
Bigotry, how ironic.
Virtue from a place of tainted and hypocritical dogma. Game developers, writers, actors, production companies, software developers, all those of Silicon Valley and Hollywood have been consistent for years in proclaiming moral superiority over the rest of society from their pulpits of false virtue, proclaiming to fight inequality, while in reality, being the foundational members of the most privileged group of bigots in history is either a spectacular ruse or an overt contempt, diminishment, and belittlement of consumers and supporters in truly epic proportions. Why such disdain for thought and diversity? Rian Johnson is perhaps the greatest hypocrite of all. He calls for more female and non-white directors while pitching his own Star Wars trilogy. It's easier for privileged people like Rian Johnson to virtue signal than it is for them to lead any real change or demonstrate by genuine example. Do as I say, not as I do. I think the old saying used to be. Sure, Ryan. The Fandom Menace use games, comics, television, and movies to escape the mundane, to evade the constant bombardment of political noise, if only for a short time. We have come together as a community and not as a race or political party. We work together to protect ourselves and to defend our mates against what we see as bullying from the IPs we love. We celebrate and enjoy the talent of our varied community, hopefully without molestation. Imagine a world where two reasonable people in a talk about the last Avengers film burst into a heated socio-political debate 5 minutes into a simple chat. Why? We see where that takes us, where that is heading. The Fandom Menace has been lumped together with alt-right, racist, sexist, internet Nazi trolls.
That's because it's true.
Contrary to the content makers. We know that we are now designated as the new they, the enemy, the others. The infection of social justice tactics and influence now permeates the entire entertainment industry. It has taken control of everything we love. If you happen to be someone who does not like the new woke direction of our social climate as it relates to entertainment, you have the bias. Where you expect storytelling but find it non-existent next to twisted and forced social or political narratives and propaganda, you are a Nazi. Yes, this is insane, I know. It is insanely divisive social policy.
Oh God, yes.
Good people everywhere. This is
He's afraid of us because we're Antifa.
This pathology in our society is an attack on freedom. The Fandom Menace will not be told that our opinions are invalid because they do not align with the narrative of the content makers, their hate mobs, or their shill journos. We do not fall in line with anyone's thinking. We exercise choice. We exercise freedom. We exercise expression. These social terrorists lie directly to our
social terrorists.
We will fight against this tyranny of false virtue. We will not allow the continued use of entertainment mediums to espouse hateful and ignorant rhetoric that divides and separates people into hateful little collectives. The Fandom Menace supports each other. We frequently disagree with each other in healthy and often
no, you don't.
Ways.
No, you
Everyone
don't.
Tries to have fun doing it without any fear of outrage or offense taking over absolutely everything or anything. Many people say that our community is a space where they feel they can finally breathe again. We are proud of that, and we should be. We were created by you. We will not move on while you destroy the things we love. This is our story, not yours, and it has only just begun. Anthony Ergo at Ruin the Man Baby. Chapter 1. Hashtag.
Oh my God. Okay. All right, guys. I just gave you a taste
of what that book was like. And would you believe it? It gets even worse after the introduction. It gets even worse. I mean, holy shit. Holy shit. I wouldn't listen to this book, even as a guilty pleasure. I wouldn't listen to this book. Yo, it really does read like a manifesto. It fucking does. It totally does. Yeah. These are the same people that get triggered over everything and anything. How long is the book on Audible? Okay. Let's see. I had to suffer through this. So let's just see. Luckily, I can get a refund. 3 hours and 51 minutes on normal speed. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. And by the way, the author of the book didn't technically write it. He's more of a ghost author at best. Oh, God. B-Level is recommending me some videos. Hold on. Oh, God. Don't tell. Look, how long is this? Hold on. Is this really worth reacting to, B-Level? I gotta see.
Quality writing makes your school.
Oh, God. Fucking commercials. All right. Is this really worth reacting to? Oh, so I'm not reacting to something that's 57 minutes. I don't got the time. Sorry, B-level, but I'm not doing that. There's got to be something shorter. I'm sorry. Let's see. Is this one? I'm not Okay, this is much more manageable. Okay. I'm going to speed this up. I'm okay. There's no way I'm going to suffer through this crap. So for my audience sake and for my own sanity, I'm not fucking watching his video on normal speed. So yeah, I'm sorry. I'm watching that one. The other one's too freaking long. Because I have a friend because unlike these fandom menacers, I actually have friends outside the internet that I would like to visit. So let's watch this. Oh my god, what cringe are we gonna deal with? We shall see. Are you guys ready for the cringe? Let's begin.
Hello, my name is Steven Walton. I'm a writer, not a YouTuber. I'm very nervous doing this. I know it sounds contradictory since I'm putting a video up on YouTube, but I'm not. I'm one of the people in the chat. I'm one of the subscribers of many different YouTubers who over the last few years have put their names on the line, have put their personalities out there.
Their names on the line. No, I'm not watching at normal speed. No. No. I am not. I am not. I am not.
And up for fandoms who have felt rightfully dejected by far-left extremist ideologues who have killed the franchises we love.
Far left extremist ideologues. What? What do you mean people who are slightly on the left of you? That's what you consider to be far right extremists? I wouldn't be surprised if many of these people you're criticizing are probably are moderate conservatives, which that's essentially what liberals are, and you're like saying they're far right, left extremists. What makes them far left? Because they acknowledge the existence of women and people of color? Because Star Wars isn't catering exclusively to white men? Is that what far left extremism is? Okay. What more words of wisdom are going to come out of your mouth, Walton?
This was born in Comicsgate, Gamergate before it, and now with Fandom Menace. I'm writing a book on the Fandom Menace called Fandom Menace Volume 1.
You want to know what you guys all have in common? You're a bunch of pathetic, entitled man-children that are complaining about the stupidest shit while your country is literally falling apart. I mean, my God. Infrastructure is crumbling. Poverty is on the rise. And you're concerned about this? Get a life. You're pathetic. You're the stereotypical freaking, social reject. I'm sorry. I don't like using that word, but that's what you guys are. You guys are fucking pathetic. You're like the worst members of society. My God. This is the sign of privilege if this is the thing you get outraged about. Come on, man.
I'm doing this because not too long ago, I was looking across the internet. I found another author who's put out 2 books about our fan collective, talking trash on us, regurgitating the same lies that are perpetuated by propaganda.
Lies. Specify. Oh, because they rightfully point out how the fandom menace is full of a bunch of entitled man-children. And you guys, your reputation wasn't necessarily, the best, even in 2019. You guys have freaking harassed charity workers, actors of Lucasfilm, authors. Come on. You don't get to act like the victim because someone wrote 2 books against you. If they wrote something against the fandom menace, there has to be some truth to it.
garbage tier websites, the shills, that were alt-right, white nationalists, Trump-supporting, sexist, racist idiots.
And weren't you a fucking shill for Jeremy when you like wrote this book, you idiot? I mean, who are you to talk? You hypocrite.
We are to be dismissed, but our opinions hold no value. And there's been these collective of YouTubers who have come together under the threat of being doxxed, physically assaulted, their families harmed.
Oh man, I love it. 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 Oh my god. You're wearing a heavy metal shirt and you're acting like a fucking bitch. Oh my god. Oh my god. I cannot take this guy seriously. Oh my god. Holy shit. Holy shit. What else? What else?
Stood up for us that we support under the threat of being unpersoned or deplatformed.
Deplatformed? This isn't fucking politics, you moron. This is fandom related shit. Most of the world doesn't fucking care one way or the other. Most people don't even know who you are. Ask the average person on the street. They're not going to know who the fandom menace are, okay? Give me a break. Give me a break. Nobody cares.
Voices speak for us. And it's time that we, the subscribers, the people in the chat, that we stand up and do our part.
Do your part in what? Write more bullshit? Is that your freaking solution?
My part is writing. I am the author of the Elemental Saga, Elemental Heart, Elemental Dragon, Fire, and Brimstone. And I'm not the only one. Like the YouTubers are a fan collective that stand together, protect, and help one another. I plan on this book being a flagship of a series of books where fandom menace authors come together and do the same thing that the YouTubers have done, the culture that they have created. People like Jeremy Griggs, people like Ethan Vance.
Too bad most of your fucking viewers won't fucking read this shit.
Who come together and support people in their particular niche and help to hold them up under the weight of the constant labels, threats, and bullshit claims that are thrown upon all of us in the fandom.
Funny how Jeremy these days don't give a fuck about the fandom menace. He's off doing his own thing. Same thing with Evan B. Skyver. Oh man, this video has aged horribly.
Black, white, red, green, heterosexual, homosexual, bisexual, trisexual, all of us, liberal, independent, people who don't care about politics.
Liberal. Most of your audience are freaking far right extremists. There's no liberals in your audience. And if they are liberals, they're fucking people like Tim Pool. No. Come on.
All of us. If we don't agree with the narrative.
Oh, God. We were spared for a bit. Okay, I'm just silencing this.
We don't agree with these far-left SJWs. We're alt-right Nazis. People like...
Oh, really? Isn't that what you guys do, actually? People that don't agree with you are SJWs? I mean, I know from experience of trying to have a discussion with you people, I'm labeled as an SJW purely because I don't believe in your fucking bullshit. What you're doing is self-rejection. You do the exact same thing you're accusing your opponents of doing. You have no room to talk. Honestly, you really don't. I don't know. No, Stephen Walton literally supported the same people that harassed a charity worker, in 2019. That there's honestly. Yeah, it is. It's okay. The thing with SJWs, it's very complicated. I might get into that on another stream at another time. It's very complicated. It's honestly. Yeah, exactly. In fact, the fandom menace is pretty much dead. Most people don't even care about its goals. Jeremy is a grifter, doing his own thing. Same thing with Evan B. Skyver. It's like you barely have anyone left at this point. This video has aged horribly. I'm not gonna lie.
Jesse Milestone, a Jewish American, being labeled a Nazi.
Oh, I wonder why. Because she surrounds herself with a bunch of neo-Nazis in her comment section. And she, uses her Jewish identity to shield herself from racism, yet basically identifies as white any other time. No, she is a Nazi. I don't care. She's a fucking Nazi.
These people have no respect for what came before them. They act as if
And you don't? And you claim you fucking people drove away George Lucas. Who the fuck are you to talk about not respecting what came before? You drove away the man who created Star Wars in the first place. You guys have no respect for the past. You fucking have harassed freaking people like Jake Floyd and the actor played Jar Jar to the point where their lives were ruined. One of them almost committed suicide. Who are you to talk about not respecting the past? You don't fucking respect the past. You're a fucking nerd. Nerds have no respect for the past. You're just a bunch of entitled little fucking man children that cannot accept that things didn't go your way. You're fucking children who won't grow the fuck up. And you're supposed to be a father yourself, and you're worrying about this shit?
no social changes happened between 1815 and 2015.
No, nobody has said that. That's straw manning.
This takes away all of the accomplishments of the people who died in the Civil War, the people who voted for the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments, the true feminists at the turn of the 20th century, who under the threat of murder and rape stood up for the equality of women.
Oh, really? Okay, got anything else?
The people in the black communities who historically been held down.
People like you would have been against Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and the Black Panthers and everybody that fought against this fascist state. No, you don't get to freaking act like you respect their fucking struggles. You don't. You're a white motherfucker that actually looks down on people who are not white. Don't do that. Don't do it. You don't get to do this shit. No, you don't. You would have been against those people.
Whose towns, like Black Wall Street, were burnt down by the propaganda of the Democratic Party, the Ku Klux Klan. You don't know.
The Republican Party still supports the Ku Klux Klan. Majority of the fucking people who are part of the Ku Klux Klan are part of the, Republican Party. No, you don't get to. Everybody and their mom knows that the Democrats may have started the Ku Klux Klan, but it doesn't change the fact that the Republicans are the ones that actually are the party of the Ku Klux Klan. I mean, are you really going to deny people like David Duke, who is a fucking Republican? Are you really going to deny that the Ku Klux Klan support the Republican Party? No, the parties have switched. They don't support the Democrats.
Well, Black Wall Street doesn't suggest you look it up. People that fought for the civil rights movements, people that marched in the streets, people that had trash thrown at them, that were beat up, that were murdered, that were bombed in churches. All of these people, all of their accomplishments have meant nothing to SJWs.
They don't mean anything to you either. You don't care about these people. You're just using them as shields. Do you know anything about Martin Luther King other than "I Have a Dream" speech? Do you know anything about Malcolm X other than he was a violent extremist? Do you know anything about Paul Robinson, who helped inspire King and Malcolm X? Do you know anything about Fred Hampton or Harry P. Newton? Do you know anything about Angela Davis? Do you know anything about any of these people that have freaking been murdered or gone to prison? No, you don't know anything, Stephen Walton. You don't know anything about the civil rights movement, except what you were brainwashed to think in school. You don't know a damn thing. So you don't get to lecture at SJWs not respecting history when you don't respect history yourself. The fact that you're not even willing to acknowledge that there is a race problem in America shows that you don't even actually care about, these struggles that are still happening today. They didn't suddenly vanish out of thin air, these struggles. They're still continuing on. And all this was undone during the Reagan presidency, where the revolution of the 1960s was undone. No, you don't get to actually talk about this nonsense. People like you opposed the civil rights movement in the 1960s and would still oppose it today. So no, you don't get to actually lecture SJWs about not respecting history when you clearly don't. Okay, I'm just going to look at this. Oh my God. This guy's an idiot. It's such cringe.
You respect nothing that came before them.
Neither do you. You don't respect anything that came before you, considering, you support fucking fascist demagogues like Donald Trump, who just want to burn America to the ground. Not that I have a problem with that, but you don't care about that. All it is to own the libs, right? The only thing you care about is to own the libs. You don't care that America, the country you supposedly love, has basically been, divided more than ever, has been fucking on the verge of collapse because of Trump's incompetence. You don't care about this country any more than the SJWs do. Don't pretend that you're any better than them. You're actually worse than them because you're actually lying and pretending to be something that you're not. At least the SJWs are honest, that they don't give a fuck.
Yeah, we live in this world where no one is equal. And in order to fight this perceived inequality, they fight racism with racism, and they fight sexism.
No, they don't fight racism with racism. That's not what SJWs do. SJWs, for the most part, are white supremacists. They really are white supremacists, just like you. But they are more subtle about with their white supremacy than people like you. You don't even realize you're a white supremacist. That's how freaking stupid you are.
Sexism. They think that
Sexism. Oh, please elaborate. You're very vague because everything you're saying about SJWs easily applies to you.
in order to elevate a segment of perceived victim population, they have to devalue another part of it. Again, swinging the pendulum.
It's so easy for you to say this when you're white and you've never experienced what it's like to be, threatened by a cop, going outside wondering if you're going to be killed by a cop. You never had to worry about being stopped by a cop. You never had to worry about being the first person to be fired or the last person to be hired. You don't know anything, honestly. This is what white supremacist victimhood looks like. This guy. I mean, I can't even take this guy seriously. He looks like a fucking nerd. I mean, this guy doesn't even understand how complex the world is. This is why, fascists, which I don't think he is a fascist. I just think he's a bootlicker. I think that this guy just doesn't know anything about how the world works. He really doesn't.
The generations like mine, Gen X, have fought so hard to fight against, and to the other extreme.
Fight against? You people were fucking kids. It was the baby boomers and the lost generation that were fighting against, Jim Crow. You weren't even old enough to do this. So shut the fuck up. No, that's false.
Creating racism. Not balancing the scales, but creating racism. Creating division and reinforcing the sick fucking narrative that comes out of politicians, the propaganda bullshit mainstream media, and the privileged assholes in Hollywood, those producers, those actors, those millionaires who don't know anything, who are completely disconnected from the working and poor class like myself.
You're right about that, but here's the thing. Why are you supporting people like Trump, who are the exact same way? You're onto something, but you are coming to the wrong conclusion because you refuse to see how fucked up America is, or capitalism. Capitalism is the problem. Why are you like, things have always been this way, even before the freaking internet age. Things were this way. What do you think the Reaganite cinema was in the 1980s? They were overtly political movies that were pro-American propaganda, that was pro-conservative propaganda. What do you think the Home Alone movies were? I mean, this stuff has always been part of entertainment. In fact, things have been less political in the 2000s than they were in the 80s and the 90s. This is nonsense.
The choose between groceries and rent. I have to look into my son's face and lie to him so that I don't put on that child the stress of having to find a way to pay the bills. These privileged elite assholes have infected entertainment.
Again, valid points, but what the hell does this have to do what you're talking about? Seriously. Why are you supporting the fascist demagogues who would leave you out in the cold? Why are you doing that?
People whose hardest choices are, do I get the Maserati or the Ferrari? Do I have steak or lobster tail for lunch? These people spewing this bullshit, hateful, bigoted rhetoric.
Bigoted rhetoric about what?
Calling classes of people that they are completely disconnected from. Trump supporters, alt-right, any label.
Well, okay, here's the thing. Why are you supporting people like Trump who do the exact same thing? Trump doesn't give a fuck about you. He never has. He's so disconnected from reality. He doesn't even see you as a human being or people like you. He abandoned you. What do you think has been going on in the Capitol right now? The people that stormed the Capitol, Trump isn't doing anything to actually help them. He abandoned them. Trump is the exact same person that you're talking about with these Hollywood elites. Yet you support him anyway. Why?
That dismisses their opinion outright, that unpersons them. This has to be fought. The people.
Okay, here's the thing. Why not take this energy and write a book about, what's going on in whatever area you're living? Why not talk about that? Instead of doing this stupid nonsense with the fandom menace. If you really are this angry, and you're rightfully so, towards the establishment, the liberal establishment, why not focus your energy on that instead of focusing your energy on this stupid shit with Star Wars? Oh, wait, because it would require you to think critically and realize Trump isn't any better than these people. In fact, he's worse. That's the problem. You're very close of coming up to the right conclusion, but you're rejecting class consciousness because you are more concerned with consuming a product than you are, fighting against the system that is fucking oppressing you and your children. That's the problem. You're very close to being class conscious, and it's really sad to see that you're focusing your energy on nonsense.
In history, who fought for equality deserve better. Our history deserves better.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, Martin Luther King deserves to be remembered as more than just a, generic I have the dream speech icon. Malcolm X deserves to be remembered more than just a violent extremist. Paul Robinson deserves to be remembered instead of forgotten because he was a communist. Fred Hampton deserves to be remembered as a freaking radical icon of the Black Panther Party, rather than a watered down, version of what he's going to be in the movie that's coming up. You're right. But you're not going to actually push for that because you don't actually care about these things.
People in all our generations who fight for liberty for all should be protected, and this bullshit far left extremist, any extremist narrative should be fought.
You're not against any far right extremists. You support Trump. You still support everything he does. No, it's bullshit. You don't even know what far left extremism is. You think anybody on the left of you is a far left extremist. Maybe you should learn more about politics instead of getting your information all on Fox News. I mean, you have everything on your fingertips. I'm not suggesting you become a communist or anything or an anarchist, but be more informed, man. I mean, you are literally a tool of people like Trump, and the person like Trump in the future is going to use you as well and give you false promises. You're more concerned with what's going on in a fucking fictional universe than you are freaking your own community. That is what's freaking pathetic.
But right now, the far left has the power. They got the people.
No, they don't. Liberals have the power. Only in America are the liberals considered far left.
In politics, they got the people spreading their bullshit on the MSNBC, CNN. They got people in garbage to your websites. They have people who have come out of liberal colleges, indoctrinated, not educated, shaming companies, entertainment companies, and hiring them to fill some kind of bullshit quota so that they can use these platforms, these established franchises, to push bullshit narratives built on hate, bigotry, and division.
Most of the world doesn't give a shit about this, right? Right? Only in America, this is uniquely American. Only in America do you have people who are more concerned with this nonsense about politics rather than freaking, oh my God, Star Wars didn't go the way I wanted it to. No. You are angry at the right people, but you're not focusing on that anger. Instead, you're focusing on what doesn't matter. We don't need Star Wars to live. We need food. We need water. We need shelter. If you truly, care about these issues, you would abandon this fandom menace shit and focus on your community. Things are only going to get worse from here for your community, and you're still more concerned with what's going on with Star Wars than you are what's going on with, whatever. I'm not going to repeat myself again.
These are the people who point at you and dismiss your opinions outright with a label. They do it to their own. They do it to Mark Hamill.
You guys turned on Mark Hamill. You can't even make up your mind if Mark Hamill is your friend or your enemy. You don't get to talk about Mark Hamill.
This needs to be fought, and I'm doing my part to fight it.
Your part in fight it, writing a shitty book that reads like a racist manifesto, rather than using that energy and actually informing the outside world what goes on in your own community. Yeah. Yeah, well, priorities, bro. Priorities. Let's actually focus on something that doesn't matter instead of focusing on something that affects me and my community. This is what selfishness looks like. If you really cared about your community, you wouldn't be focusing on this nonsense with Star Wars. You really wouldn't.
I have no money for advertising. I have no money to pay to even get somebody to do a cover. But I'm writing this book because it needs to be written. And I plan on creating a community.
No, it doesn't. What needs to be written is something that's going on in your community. You have legitimate grievances against Hollywood. You have legitimate grievances against the liberal politicians. You have legitimate grievances against how the government has basically abandoned the working class. You have legitimate grievances. But instead of focusing your energy writing something like that, you're focusing on something that most of the population don't give a fuck about. Let's honestly. Most of the population, the only thing they care about is putting food on the table. They don't care about how badly Disney's fucked up Star Wars. They really don't. You are a minority, honestly. Even the fandom menace doesn't care about this book. If they have, more people would know about it. Yes, he does make Keith Woods look like a genius. What really is frustrating is this guy. He is so right on certain things. He's not completely wrong on the liberals. The liberal elites are bastards. They've done nothing but destroy this country. They've done nothing but let people out to die. They don't care. This is false consciousness. He knows there's something wrong, but he won't take the extra step. And this guy doesn't just realize just how he's basically fallen into the alt-right pipeline. He is far right. Everything on the left of him is considered far left, even if these people he's criticizing are moderate conservatives. And that's the thing. Most of the Democrats you're criticizing are moderate conservatives. They're not freaking far left extremists. Because if you can't even handle moderate conservatives or moderate liberals, what would you think a freaking socialist would be like? That's the problem. With being, so politically unaware, is this people like this guy, unfortunately, will fall into the hands of a demagogue like Trump once again. He has the right conclusions in certain issues, but he won't take the extra step of actually freeing his mind from this fucked up system that is, American capitalism.
Writers within the fandom menace that supports each other, just like the YouTubers have taught us, just like the culture that they have created.
What culture? What culture? You guys don't have shit. You guys don't have shit. You're just the worst freaking aspects of every fandom. The racist and sexist part of every fandom. What fucking culture are you talking about?
Trying to stand up and do our part.
Your part, wallet. I don't think they freaking care about your movement, guy. I mean, dude, whatever.
Not just hashtags. It's time for people like me to stand up and write a book that speaks to people. It shows others that there's another way, there's another voice. And these voices are everywhere on YouTube.
You want to be more effective? Going to their office and holding up signs. But wait, I think you'd be looked at as as a bunch of crazy people, and you're too embarrassed to do that because you are not that stupid. None of these people really care about your movement. Most of these supposed supporters are just LARPers. The fandom menace, if you really break it down, their support is not really that big. Most of these people are just LARPers that just, they look at something and they just go on the next big fucking thing. They just don't care. Majority of these people, they just don't care. I don't think even most of the supposed supports for the fandom menace gives a shit about this crap. They really don't. They're just what they see. They see people like you as a source of entertainment. They don't see you as anything more than that.
I'm going to advertise them. I have reached out to several YouTubers and asked if I could use their comments from their videos in my book. Some have responded. Some have agreed to help me in the creation of this book by adding their creative content to chapters. Others have wished me luck. Others have not been able to get back to me. My mission is to respect, in the most authentic manner, every one of these people from their personal positions. Because we are a collective of people who respect the opinions of others, pro or con.
No, you don't. If you did, you wouldn't be labeling anti-fandom menacers as SJWs.
We come from various backgrounds.
No, you don't. The most dominant members of the fandom menace are as white as fucking they can be. And when you do have people that aren't, you just use them as tokens to shield yourselves from accusations of racism.
Nationalities, sexualities, from political persuasions.
No, you don't. Fucking advertisements.
We will not be unilaterally labeled.
I got a question. Where are the far leftists in the fandom menace? Oh wait, they don't exist because the far left aren't concerned with this nonsense.
And dismissed by the far left, by SJWs. By these...
Of course they're dismissed. Because you're a fucking joke. No, you're a fucking joke. Of course you're dismissed. Geek culture is uniquely American. You can't get any more fucking American than this.
These troglodytes, these unimaginative, supposedly creative hacks, like Kathleen Kennedy, who's more interested in pushing a sexist ideology in a pre-established franchise that nerds for decades have loved.
Nobody fucking cares about you. Who fucking cares about nerds, okay? Nobody cares. You people are in the minority. Most people who watch Star Wars movies don't give a fuck.
Nerds like me, who use things like Star Wars, Star Trek, Transformers, X-Men, use these to escape the bully who pick on us.
If you need something to escape, how the harsh reality of things, and that's your only source of comfort, I pity you. You must be really fucked up if that's what you need, if that's what you depend on.
Because we love sci-fi or fantasy. Now the bullies.
You don't love sci-fi because you want to strip sci-fi of its character. You want sci-fi to be nothing but a bunch of, milquetoast bullshit. You want Star Trek not to be political? It wouldn't be Star Trek anymore. You want Star Wars not to be political? It wouldn't be Star Wars anymore. You don't understand anything. How art is. If by your logic, conservatives shouldn't be able to put their political stuff in art either. But wait, you don't actually believe what you're preaching, do you?
These franchises. And again, we're being kicked out. We're being ostracized.
Kicked out. Nobody cares.
Not only that, we're being labeled
Oxercise, yeah. Oh my god, oh my god, Disney is committing genocide against Star Wars fans because they didn't give us what they wanted with The Last Jedi. Oh my god, our culture's being destroyed. Oh my god. Oh my god. These people treat it like it's a fucking religion. Oh my god.
People like Jeremy Hanley got beat up by that piece of shit Matt Lauer.
Oh yeah, why should I care? That fucking Nazi that basically was defending Hitler on Twitter. Give me the smallest violin, please. I know he didn't do it at the time that you did this video, but why should I care about a fucking Nazi? Then again, you actually support him, so you probably agree with his ideology.
Got called a Nazi.
He is a Nazi.
Because the definition of that is so far removed from the historical significance of what that means that these people use that and words like racism without care because they have no respect for what came before them.
You don't respect what came before them because you freaking are literally bitching about the littlest shit. You don't respect. What you're doing is self-rejection.
I am asking everyone to support this book as I have supported you.
Most of your audience will never read it.
Shit. I have problems paying my own rent. I'm writing this book for you, for us, for all of us. The Fandom Menace Volume 1. Be out by this summer.
Oh god, that was cringe. I know it may look as petty, me, going after this guy the way I did, but come on. It's so pathetic. He treats Star Wars as a religion. He treats like what he's going through is comparable to something like the natives are going through. I know this stream was going to be about his book, but you know what? This is entitlement. These people, they look at themselves like their struggles is like an actual struggle. What's the worst thing that happens to these people? Oh, they have a movie they don't like. It's like he's more concerned with that than he is concerned with his country, falling apart. His country, people starving in the streets, people being evicted from their houses. But no, Star Wars is all that matters. And you wonder why I have nothing but contempt for freaking, nerds? Nerds are fucking reactionary as fuck. It doesn't matter, where they come from. They're fucking reactionary. If you're proud to be a nerd, you should reevaluate themselves. It's like he claims, that the left shut down debate, yet this guy won't even actually debate B-level or me because he's afraid of Antifa. So who the fuck is the one that actually is afraid to debate again? And you talk about not respecting the past? Motherfucker, you use freaking the civil rights movement as a shield for your bigotry. You would have been against Malcolm X and Dr. King if you were, alive in their time. Or if they did the exact same kind of movement today. I mean, there is a new civil rights movement. You're against it. Why? Because it's racist. Oh, it's racist. It's like, you don't hear fucking this shit from other communities. It's only the white nerds that talk about racism against the whites. The whites we're being discriminated against. We're fucking discriminated against the whites. It's like, these people shouldn't be taken seriously. The fact that he's doing 5 volumes of this garbage, it's like he barely has any support at this point. And I guarantee you far less people are going to read volume 2 than volume 1. And I'm going to have to thank, Midnight's Edge for narrating it, because I would have never read this garbage. I mean, $20 just to freaking read, a racist manifesto? No, thank you. I can get all that shit for free on YouTube. I mean, seriously. Nerds have their priorities fucking backwards. Things are going to get a whole lot worse, and they're more concerned with this nonsense. Anyway, this is Darcenovia. Over and out. Stay safe, everyone, and may the Force be with us all. Later.